Hello, it's Donna at Sunset Hill Tree Farm, and it's kind of a gloomy, wet day outside. So what I want to do today is make pumpkin pies. Now I have lots of friends that make pumpkin pie from the store-bought canned stuff, and that's how I did for a long time. Pumpkin breads and all those things, just bought it at the store. But now that we're out here on the farm and I have the pumpkins left over, especially after pumpkin patch season and all that, I really have enjoyed learning how to use the real pumpkin to make the pumpkins that I need for my pie and for breads and things like that. So we have these leftover pie pumpkins from Pumpkin Patch, and so if you get those in the fall when they're in the stores, one pumpkin should make about a pie. I find that mine make a little more like a pie and a half, sort of, just depending on the size. But so I've washed it up a little bit because it was outside, and so I'm going to cut it in half. I have this really awesome knife here that just goes right around it, cuts it in half, and then I'm going to have to clean out the insides. And of course, that's the fun stuff, is cleaning out the seeds. Well, you can take those seeds and clean them up and roast them on their own. They're great. You can feed them to your chickens or your pigs or your goats or anything like that, and they'll love them too if you have those. And pumpkin seeds are a natural wormer for animals, and so if you feed those to your critters outside, it's a natural wormer for them. So that's a cool thing. So we always give pumpkins and pumpkin seeds to the pigs for sure. We don't have goats right now, but if we did, they'd get them too. Sometimes they eat them, sometimes they don't. So I'm going to take a large spoon and I'm going to clean out the insides. So for me right now, I have multiple places I could put the pitting and the pith and all that stuff in there. I've got the pigs, I've got the chickens, I've got several compost bins. So these will probably actually go into the compost. And because the pigs are getting enough pumpkin and everything, so this will go into a compost bin. And we have a vermicompost bin, so this will actually probably go in with the worms, and they'll break them down. If you put them in just a regular cool compost bin, the seeds will probably germinate. And we had that happen last year for us. In our big compost bin, there was pumpkin plants everywhere. If it's in a really hot compost bin, so it's a big one, and you know you're turning it, it's getting plenty of action, and it's hot enough, it'll kill the seeds and they won't germinate. If I put them out into the worms, some of them may germinate, but for the most part, they won't stay good, and so the worms will get them, and they'll be fine. So I'm going to clean these out. And then, once I get them cleaned out, they're going to go onto a pan and into a 350-degree oven. Okay, so I've gotten these cleaned out. I got all the seeds and as much of the pulp out of the middle of them as I possibly can. Put those into the compost bin. So they're going to go to the worms. And now we're going to put them on a cookie sheet. They're going to cook in the oven at 350 for about an hour or so. You have to kind of just see what it looks like. But I want them to be moist, and they don't need to be cooking just dry. So you want as much moisture into the meat as you can get. So if you can cook it into it, it's better. So we'll add water all around them and make sure it gets under them. And so that they have plenty of moisture while they're cooking, and you might want to add or check that as they cook to make sure there's plenty. And so these will sit in the oven about 350. You could go higher if you wanted to shorten it, but I'd just rather go low and slow. And when they start to pit, you can see that it's soft, that the meat is soft, then you're going to take them out. So. Awesome. Okay, so they've been cooking for a while and they look like this. Let me show you what this looks like. And I'm ready to take the meat out of the pumpkin. So you can see here, they've been cooking while they're darker, and you can see the skin has flaked up. That's what you want, because that makes it so much easier to get what you need out of there. So if you don't have to dig it off, see, that's really nice right there. You want it to just peel and come off so that you can get the meat out of it. So I'm going to start taking them, getting that out, and then, I had to let it cool a little bit, because if you try to get it when they're too hot, I mean, it can be really, really hot. So you can see here, I'm just going to try to peel that off and leave the meat in here. So I have a bowl for the skin and a bowl for my pumpkin. And this is coming off just almost perfect. It's not always this perfect, I promise you. This is looking really good. So I'll take all this skin off and leave all my pumpkin in this bowl, and then I'm going to puree it, and then we'll bake a pie in just a few minutes. Okay, so I've got all of my pumpkin meat ready to go. So all of the pumpkins. So I'm going to take it a little at a time and put it in my blender and blend it up. So we're going to get that pumpkin puree that we'll be using in the pies. So it's nice and soft. I think it should blend up really nicely. I'm going to put it in here. Use my little Ninja. So I need 15 ounces per pie. So that's about what you're going to get from a can, about 15 ounces per pie. So I'll blend this up in small pieces, and then I'll get it ready to start cooking. Okay, so I have my puree, and I've measured out my 15 ounces. I actually cheat a little bit and go 16 ounces. I'm a little more pumpkin-y. And then we add, this is, whatever recipe you like. This is the recipe that I like, and I actually kind of play with it sometimes. But I add the can of sweetened condensed milk. Very yummy. Makes it nice and creamy. So, and I use this to get all of it out of there. Sweetened. Oh, this stuff is so thick and luscious. Okay, so that's my condensed milk. And then I need 2 eggs. Let me get my eggs. 2 eggs. These come from our chickens. They're our eggs. And so our chickens provide us with eggs every day, and I am thankful for that. 1, 2. Probably smarter to break these in a bowl or something, just so you don't get a shell in there, but I don't know, live on the wild side. So now I'm going to add some spices to it. Some cinnamon. I need a teaspoon of that. Take this off. Definitely the cinnamon. And then I'm going to do nutmeg. A half teaspoon. I love the smell of nutmeg. This stuff all smells so good. And some ginger. I love ginger. I love the little bite that ginger offers. So make sure I get that in there. And I need salt. Right here. Half teaspoon of salt. And then I actually like to add a little bit of allspice. I know it has a lot of different spices in it, and probably some of them we've already done, but there's just something about the allspice. I go ahead and add another half teaspoon of allspice to it, and that is what I'm looking for right there. So I'm going to blend it up, and I'm going to put it in. We're just using a graham cracker crust. You can make your own crust. You can buy a store crust, whatever. We like it in a graham cracker crust, and so it'll just be, it won't have a top on it. So we'll put this in the graham cracker crust, and then it'll get baked 425 for 15 minutes, and then you drop it down to 350, finish it out for about 35 minutes, and then you've got the good, yummy pumpkin pie. So I'm going to mix it up. There's that. It's beautiful. Smells so good. Put it on there. Pour it into the pie shell. This is a smaller pie, so I can probably get 2 pies out of this actually. And there's that. It's going to go into the oven. Okay, so this is my next to the favorite part, and that's when I take the pies out of the oven. And there they are, beautiful. The crust is brown, the pies look cooked. That's awesome. So we'll let those cool, and I'm definitely having a piece of this later with some whipped cream on it. So we'll get to that. Okay, so it's my favorite time is when I get to enjoy my pumpkin pie, my homemade pumpkin pie with our pumpkins. So I have a nice sweet red to go with it. Some people may prefer white, but this works for me. And I'm going to try it and see how it tastes. It is so good. Make your own pumpkin pie. Use your own pumpkin. That's the way we do it at Sunset Hill Tree Farm. Real farm, real fun.